In today's video, we're going to be looking at another upgrade of a lithium iron phosphate battery system. Now, in my previous video, I did do an upgrade video as well, where one of my clients upgraded from 15 kilowatt hour lithium iron phosphate battery to 30 kilowatt hour lithium iron phosphate battery. All he needed to do was to buy another unit of 15 kilowatt hour lithium battery to add to what he already had, making it 30 kilowatt hour lithium ion battery. Now he also added 10 solar panels to the already existing 12 solar panels, so you can go ahead and check that video out. In today's video, my client had 8 solar panels, a 3.5 kVA inverter, and a 5 kilowatt lithium iron phosphate battery. My previous client, which I showed you in my last video, he had a 7.5 kVA inverter. So while he's talking about upgrading to 10 kVA, he hasn't done that just yet. So maybe down the line he's going to change it to a 10 kVA. But this new client I'm talking about now, he changed practically everything except for the charge controller. He upgraded his inverter from a 3.5 kVA to 5 kVA, and instead of him to add a 5 kilowatt hour lithium ion phosphate battery to the already existing 5 kilowatt hour like my previous client did, he just went straight for a 10 kilowatt hour lithium ion phosphate battery. That one is a kind of different upgrade. Usually the kind of upgrade we do is just to go and add exactly the same kind of battery, but for some reason he preferred it this way. One of the things about our installation, because a lot of times when I started doing installations, people don't even install solar panels. They just go ahead to install just their inverter and their batteries. That way they depend on grid power to charge their batteries, and when there's no grid power, the inverter takes over. That time the grid power was very okay, constant. In fact, there's some place where they specifically ration the power that they get from the grid, 3 hours in, 3 hours out. That way, if you have an inverter system, all you need to do is to charge it, and in 3 hours, you know that when the grid power goes off, you are able to use your inverter for the next 3 hours. At the end of the day, when the grid power comes back on and off like that. But we live in a place where things are going from bad to worse. So presently, even though some places are still trying to ration the power that they get, they can just go from 3 hours to 3 days, no grid power. So if you don't have solar system as backup, that means you're going to be using your generator almost throughout that 3 days just to be able to get power in the house. That's why a lot of people, let's just say 99.999% of the people that we install for today, as long as they are doing an inverter system, they have to add solar panels to it. The question is, how much panels are they adding to it? Now, if your grid power is very okay, that means you don't really need a lot of solar panels. That's how we calculate it in this part. But if your grid power is terrible, that means you have to just assume that you are not getting that grid power. So that way, we help you calculate how many panels you are going to need. So your panels are going to be on the high side. And my client in question, he doesn't like the grid power that they're getting. It's very, very inconsistent according to him. So that's why he added another 8 solar panels. Before we did this upgrade was done just about a month ago, and he's been complaining that though the other one is working, as the 5 kilowatts has been working, but there are some times when there's no grid power and at the end of the day it goes off and everything. So he wasn't really enjoying it. So that's why I went for this upgrade. Ever since we installed this one, I've not heard any complaint, at least just yet. But I don't think I'm going to get any complaint, because even though the grid power is very poor, adding the grid power to the solar panels it has now and the upgrade in the battery, I very much doubt if you're going to have challenges. Maybe in future we'll find out. But for about a month now, he has not called me, or even calling them to find out. No problems. So that's the way it is for his own system. The reason why people go off grid in the Western world is one of these two reasons mainly. One of them is to cut electricity bills. That means they want to save up electricity bills by going off grid. That means when they install their solar system, they calculate it against what they are paying to the power company. So maybe down the line, maybe about 10-15 years, the system would have paid for itself. That means the money they would have paid to the grid company in 15 years would have paid for their solar system. So that is one of the reasons why people go off grid in the Western world. Another reason why they go off grid, maybe not necessarily going totally off grid, is because during peak hours they charge a lot. So what they do is that they have a backup system, is in a small solar system, so that it switch on automatically to their solar system when it is peak period, peak hours, when the electricity bill is quite high. Those peak period, they utilize their solar system and the off peak, they now go ahead to use the grid power. So that way they are able to save some electricity bill. So that's one of the reasons why a lot of people are going off grid in the West. One other reason that make people go off grid as well, I think this is the main reason why people go off grid. Most people that are totally off grid, this is the reason why they go off grid. When I connected grid power to my house, I had to buy the wires, I had to take everything, I had to take care of them myself. I had to pay the power company for connecting, I have to put community. If you live in Africa, you're going to be familiar with having community people that use every opportunity to get money from you. So that's one way they get money. They will not allow you to connect, even though you are connecting it to your own house. They will not allow you to connect it until you settle them. So settle them I did, because I'm not the only one that lives in the area or live in the locality. So everybody that live there have settled them at one point or another for peace to reign, settle them and move on. So this is the point. When you consider the cost of getting your wire, getting your electric poles and everything, if the cost is, for instance, if you live in America, if it's going to cost you about $2,000 to $3,000 or maybe $5,000 to get connected to the grid, and you know that your energy needs are not so much, and maybe a $5,000 to $10,000 solar system will be able to power your house comfortably well. By no means, you don't need to connect to that grid. It makes all the sense in the world to just be totally off grid. When I install lead acid batteries or other kinds of batteries, at the end of the day, we don't really talk about upgrade until the batteries are dead. Or if we're going to have an upgrade, we do it in a way that we connect two different systems. That means we connect two battery banks to one inverter, or we connect a different system. So that way, the client uses one of the systems during the day, preferably the bad system, that's the one that is older, and the new system, they use it at night. This lithium iron phosphate battery is kind of interesting because the way people are upgrading comfortably, after 6 months they get a new battery add to it, and I know down the line even 2 years some people are going to want to upgrade. It's kind of fascinating. Let me know if you've had the experience of upgrading your lead acid or gel batteries after using one battery or some batteries for maybe 6 months or even more, and you now want to add another set to it. Let me know what your results are in the comment section below, because most people, I met somebody a few days ago and he was complaining that his battery does not last any longer in terms of the backup time. I now started doing my investigation, and he was the one that told me that he had one before, he now added another one to it. Now pointed out to him that it's not a good idea to use an old and a new battery, that what happens is that one of them knocks the other one out, because they are more like different capacities, even though he doesn't know that. So let me know your experience in that regard, because I don't allow people to add batteries to their system once it's about 1 or 2 months maximum, so that there will not be a gap in their energy level, that's their storage capacity. So that's it for this video. See you guys and catch you on the next one.